Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Hope everybody had a good week, got out to play some golf, and that the golf gods treated you well. Wanted to start this week with a quick podcasting fact. Did you know that only 8% of podcasts make it past 10 episodes? So the other side of that would be that 92% of podcasters give up before getting to their 11th episode. This episode that you're listening to this week, episode number 23 for me. So while I may not be in the top 8% of all golfers, I'm now in the top 8% of all podcasters. And probably just because I'm stubborn. But when I set out on this journey, I told myself I was going to give this a year and wanted to see how it went. And it's been a great experience. I've seen growth slowly, but I have seen the audience grow. And that growth I see in numbers, listeners, engagement. But from this side of the microphone, you always kind of wonder, is anybody really out there listening? And I want to give a special thanks to a couple of listeners that reached out last week. Luke and Marshall sent me an email, shared a little bit about their own golf journeys. We had some good communication back and forth. Guys, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you. It was one of my goals when I started this to try to create a community around the show of people who are on similar journeys. And doesn't matter where you're from, where you live, what walk of life. And while this is obviously focused on a little bit of an older demographic, anybody who's out there on this golf journey, welcome. Happy to have you. And please reach out. I promise I'll read every email, respond to every email. And it's something that I learned this past week is I love podcasts and have over the years listened to, 5, 8, 10 different podcasts religiously. And this is something that I don't do. Most podcasters are out there. They're not making money on this. Everybody's not Joe Rogan. It's a passion project. It's something people enjoy. A lot of them don't have ads. This is free to listen to every week. And it's something I'm going to do better going forward. I'm going to reach out to those people that I enjoy listening to every week and just let them know, hey, I'm out here. Thanks for what you do. I appreciate it. So there's my Publix. That's a Florida slip to say Publix. There is my public service announcement on podcasting this week. But to anybody who's out there listening, thank you. I truly appreciate you being here. Let's get on with the show. So, played 2 rounds of golf this weekend, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. And like every week, I think I learn new things about myself every week. I think I learn new things about my golf game every week. Life, and I've mentioned this before, has been hectic and work has been challenging, stressful. Man, do I look forward to getting out and playing golf on the weekends. It really does. It no matter how bad my last round went, 5 minutes after it's over, that's the first thought on my mind is I just can't wait to get back out there and give it another shot. So went out on Saturday morning. Very still. It's been windy recently here in South Florida, but very light wind to start the day and warm. Winter has definitely passed us by and an early summer has begun. So warm day on Saturday, played with my normal group of Jason, Steve, and Al, and felt good. Felt good getting out on the course Saturday. What I would say is it was quiet on the course. We had a 7:35 tee time I ran into a couple of little problems on Saturday morning, left the house a few minutes late, but still showed up at around 7:20. But by the time I was pulling into the parking lot, I was getting a text saying, "Hey, are you coming out and playing today?" And I said, "Yep, I'm here." But as soon as I got to the course, to the cart, put my clubs on, went right to the first tee. No practice putts, no practice chips, no range time. Stretched, swung the orange whip 4 or 5 times and said, "Let's go." And felt like I hit the ball pretty well coming out of the gate. First hole, good drive, nice second shot layup, third shot onto the green. This is where I did pay for not getting out early and getting a little putting practice in. Started the day with a 3-putt to bogey the par 5 first. Move on to the second hole. Good drive. Down the right side. And on the second hole, water runs down the right side. It shouldn't have been, I'm letting you know what happened here. It shouldn't have been in play. I was a little over 100 yards out, and I hit my shot thin, opened the club face, pushed one into the water, and that hurt. So in the water in 2, drop in 3, hit that shot onto the green, add my second 3-putt of the day for a triple bogey on number 2. Number 3 is a par 3. Hit my tee shot. Look, I didn't hit it real well. Was a little thin, but sometimes luck is more important than skill. Hit the green, I still had some distance, probably 20 feet, downhill, right to left slider that I had my line right, way too much speed. But perfect line, hit the pin, dropped in for birdie on the third hole. Move on to 4, make bogey, par 5 and 6. So I'm off to a decent start. I'm 4 over through 6. Move on to the 7th hole, which is a par 3. Was playing about 155 yards on Saturday. Shot was into the wind, hit an 8-iron really well, a little long and a little left. The problem with a little left is bunker. So put my tee shot in the bunker. I've talked at length on this podcast about my struggles with the bunker, but recently has been a little better. So I'm not dreading these shots as much. Get over the shot. Probably had 30 feet to the pin and picked the ball absolutely clean. Did not hit a single grain of sand. Flew it 60, 70 yards in the air and left myself. It really could have gone into the water, which is generally not in play in this hole, but I hit it so far over the green, left myself 40 yards back in for my, let's see, 1 was in the bunker, 2 was over the green. So I hit my third shot, needed about a 40-yard pitch, only hit it 30 yards. So still have 10 left to the green. That next one on the green, walk away with a triple bogey on the par 3 7th. And the frustration began to build a little bit right there. Now, let me pause on my round of golf for a second and break off and tell you a quick story, which is that a few years ago, I'm not sure how many years, 5 or 10 years ago, I read a book called Switch, and it was about change management. The author of the book, in one of the chapters, paints this picture, and he talks about imagining in your mind an elephant, and on top of that elephant is a rider. And we assume that the rider who is sitting on top of the elephant is in control. But the reality is the elephant is much, much larger than the rider. And if the elephant decides he wants to go somewhere, he's going to go. And the point of this visual is the rider is our rational side and the elephant is our emotional side. So he goes on to talk about that all day, every day, within each of us, there's this struggle between the rider and the elephant. And the rider works hard to maintain control. The elephant, who he's all emotion, is much more powerful. Our emotional sides are much more powerful than our rational sides. So, for example, lunchtime rolls around and the rider thinks, I should really have a salad today. The elephant thinks, man, do I want pizza. And the battle begins. Who wins? When you get in your car to go out to lunch, is the elephant driving or is the rider driving? Another example, get home from work, long day. The rider thinks, man, I need to get to the gym. I need to get some exercise. The elephant thinks, I want to sit on the couch, eat cheese curls, drink a beer, and Monday Night Football will be on soon. So all day long, these battles go on within us. And some of these they're examples I gave you are hopefully you understand those to point out the emotional and the rational, but they also go on when we interact with people and someone says something to you and the elephant is like, I can't believe you said that. I'd like to punch that person in the nose. I'd like to, and the rider, the rational part of you is like, no, let's handle this. Let's take care of it. Let's de-escalate. Let's keep moving on with our day. And for anybody who works with people, and I love people, but they can be challenging and that creates some of these struggles. So this goes on all day, every day. And the author goes on to say that sometimes you've got to let the elephant win. You've got to give the elephant some small victories because if you don't, he's going to break loose when you least expect it. So sometimes you got to give in. You got to say, you know what? All right, we're getting pizza for lunch today. We're not eating a salad. Or we went to the gym 3 days in a row. Let's hang out tonight. We're going to watch Monday Night Football. We'll get back to the gym tomorrow night. You've got to let the elephant win. When you don't, he'll pop up when you may not want to see him. Hold that thought. Back to my round of golf. So just made a triple on the par 3 7th. Move on to the 8th hole. Hit my drive right and right short. And it's in the trees in a place where I can't get to the green. Scotty Scheffler couldn't get to the green. I've got to play a shot low, back out into the fairway, basically take my medicine and play for bogey, which is fine. I hit that shot, leave it about 30 yards short in front of the green. Good spot. Nothing in my way, nothing between myself and the green. Stand over the shot, take a couple of practice strokes, perfect practice strokes, nice brush of the grass, feel good about the shot I'm about to hit, and then promptly blade it over the green, just missing the bunker that runs across the left side, but landing in the rough, not a great lie. Again, at that time, I thought, lucky break that I didn't end up in the bunker based on how my last bunker shot went, but not a great place to leave because now the green runs away from me. It's downhill. It's going to be a tricky chip. And for those of you who have played golf in Florida, Bermuda grass can be really difficult to chip off of. Depends which way the green's running. If you're with it or against it, I happen to be against it on this shot. So when I go to hit my 4th shot, I'm still in it. I still think, all right, we can get this close. We can make bogey and we can walk out of here with a bogey. I swing the club, gets caught up in the Bermuda, and the shot that I needed to hit 30 feet, I hit 3 feet. And I'm still in basically the same exact place in the rough. At this moment, the elephant got away from me. And he took my approach wedge and flung it flung it through the air, across the green. It probably flew 30 or 40 yards, across the green, high in the air, beautiful flight, landed on the cart path. Could have landed on the grass before the cart path or the grass after the cart path, but it did not. Landed square on the cart path and snapped in half. My playing partners, they laughed a little bit, had some oohs and ahs because it's a good throw. And I've got to tell you that even right now, when that club landed and broke, the elephant had gotten his way and I was at peace. Like a calm came over me and I felt like, I know it's going to cost me $70 to reshaft that club. It was worth every dollar of it. I needed it. I don't know if it was just the round of golf. It was the frustrations building from the work week of controlling the elephant constantly. But after the triple on 6 and what I ended up making was a triple on 7, for a moment, I was absolutely livid. The golf club struck the path, snapped in half, and it was over. Like I was calm, and I don't know how to explain it, but the elephant got his way. But as soon as he got what he wanted, the rider was back in control again. And I think if that hadn't happened, I would have been livid the rest of the day, and it would have been nearly impossible for me to go out and play good golf. So it happened. Has it happened to you? Have you broken a club out of anger on the golf course? Send me a story. Shoot me an email. breaking80over50@gmail.com. Let me know. Love to hear your broken club story. So break the club, make my triple, move on to 9, which is a hole that had been challenging me lately. And parred 9, made a double on 10, and then went on to par 11, 12, 13, 14, and 17 for a 42 on the back and an 88 on the day. And I'm telling you, I still, right now, I just feel like I can't explain it. But normally I'd feel bad for losing my cool on the golf course. And maybe a little bit I do, but I needed, maybe it didn't have to be a broken club. Maybe there would have been some other way for me to let the elephant run wild there for a couple of minutes. But however long it took, the 3 seconds that club flew through the air, hit the cart and snapped, it just, the anger was gone. I was good. And I'm not condoning it. I'm not telling you go out on the course and every time something doesn't go your way, break a club. That can get expensive. But what I am saying is we're human beings. We're people. And sometimes we've got to let the emotion out. And on Saturday, I did. Move on to Sunday. Back out on the course Sunday morning, same exact route. And that calm that I experienced Saturday, it carried into my Sunday round. Came out, par on the first hole, bogey on 2, par on 3, par 6 and 7 for 42 on the front. So good front 9. Go out and 10, 11, and 12, when I make the turn, they're challenging holes. They're 2 long par 4s and a par 5. They give me problems. Par 10, bogeyed 11, par 12, par on 13. And I really was feeling in control of my golf game until I got to the 14th hole. 14th hole, par 3, short, was playing, I think, about 120 yards on Sunday. And I get in trouble. I get in trouble when I start thinking that I need to hit less than a full club. And had pitching wedge in my hands, felt like I needed to take a little bit off of it. Should have been a full swing, but come up short of the green right, which means I've got to pitch over a bunker onto the green. And instead of pitching over, I pitched into the bunker. My first attempt to get out of the bunker was unsuccessful. My second attempt, I did get out, but triple bogey on a 120-yard par 3 after playing the holes on the court that usually give me all kinds of trouble. Move on to 15. And I've been driving the ball well all weekend long, get to 15 and absolutely yank one left out of bounds. Triple bogeyed 15. I'd still say, and I go back to the elephant in the rider, that outburst on Saturday kept the elephant at peace even through back-to-back triples on Sunday. I still felt like, you know what, we're okay. Let's just keep playing. Move on to 16, which I always thought was my favorite hole in the course. It's par 3. It's playing about 160 yards. I hit, I think, a 160-yard shot. I just hit it 20 yards right of the green in a place that left me with a really difficult pitch up a hill back onto the green. But hit a great one, left about 8 feet, made the putt. So great up and down for par. And this is what I'm talking about. Normally, after back-to-back triples like that, and then hitting a drive 20 feet or 20 yards right of where I was aiming would really kind of wind me up. But I felt okay. Like I felt like I was still in control of my golf game at that point. Go on to 17, par 5. The 18th fairway is to the right of the 17th fairway. There is 4 miles of open space if you miss right. Did I miss right? I did not. For the second time, I yanked a drive directly left, out of bounds, end up making double bogey on the par 5. Move on to 18, which is what we're standing on the 18th tee, and Jason, who is a really good driver of the golf ball, a guy who regularly shoots in the 70s, and this is probably why, won't hit driver on 18. It's such tough fairway to hit that he hits 5 wood. But I walked up there with driver and I said, I'm hitting this fairway today. And I did. I started the ball down the right side, hit a nice little draw into the middle of the fairway. I'm telling you, I have played that hole 200 times and have never been in the spot that I was in on Sunday. Hit a wedge onto the green, 2 putt for par on 18 for an 87 on Sunday. So 88 Saturday, 87 Sunday. A little frustrated that I really had the game to put up around in the low 80s. I don't know that I break 80 and shoot in 70s, but if I hadn't have hit the 2 balls out of bounds, one on 15, one on 17, it would have been a sub 85 round. So a little frustrated with that, but it's still a good day on the golf course. And I felt like it was a victory after, again, snapping the club on Saturday. I went out and dealt better with the adversity on Sunday, held it together, and even after a couple of tough stretches, I played some good golf. So I'll take that as a win. The other thing that I noticed on Saturday and Sunday is historically, as I play after each hole, I key my scores into the GHIN app. I changed that up a little bit recently, and I changed it up because Reggie, who is my golf instructor, had asked me to start keeping track of how many strokes I take from inside of 100 yards each round. And that includes putts. It's easy enough to back out putts from that number, but how many shots inside of 100 yards? So I don't have an easy way to do that in the app. On the scorecard, I can line up what was my score? Let's say it's a par 4. I made a par, I write a 4 down. Then I've got fairway. Did I hit it? Did I miss? Left, right, short, long. Then I've got green in regulation. Did I hit it? Did I miss left, right, short, long? Then I've got number of putts. Now I'm including how many strokes inside of 100 yards, and I'm also including penalty strokes. And some interesting numbers, I think, that come out of that. So, quick recap. On Saturday, I hit 50% of fairways, 6 greens in regulation. I had 32 total putts, which included 2 3-putts on the first 2 holes. I settled down after that. 1 penalty stroke. And of my 88 total strokes, 54 of them came from inside of 100 yards. So if you back out the 32 putts, that means I hit 22 shots from inside of 100 yards. On Sunday, even though Sunday's the day that I hit the 2 big, and they weren't hooks. I mean, these balls were straight as an arrow left, but I hit 56% of fairways, 7 greens in regulation. I had 33 total putts, which again included 2 3-putts. I had 2 penalty strokes on Sunday, and I hit 53 shots from inside of 100 yards. So same kind of thing, 53 total shots. If you back out the 33 putts, that's 20 shots inside of 100 yards. But I think it's an interesting number. When we think about what areas of my game should I be focused on? And it's fun, right? It's fun to go to the range, to hit driver. I love hitting 6, 7, 8, 9 irons. I hit them well. They're fun to hit. But think about the sand shots that didn't go. Think about blading balls over the green. Think about the 3-putts. If instead of taking 54 shots on Saturday, 53 shots on Sunday from inside of 100 yards, if I knock 4 or 5 strokes off of that and I'm taking 50 shots or 49 shots or 48 shots, which is entirely possible. It is absolutely the difference between Jason, who goes out and shoots a 77 or a 78, and me, who goes out and shoots an 87 or an 88, are those shots inside of 100 yards. He's much better around the green. So it is the focus of my golf game right now. I have got to be better from inside of 100 yards. I'm so concerned about my game inside of 100 yards that on par 5s, I will lay up to a number outside of 100 yards. I'm more comfortable having 125 in, 130 in, so I can take a full swing with something, as opposed to hitting and laying a shot up at 80 yards. That's a number that gets me in trouble. So I guess like I said, I'm being smart about it by laying up to a number that I'm more comfortable hitting. But I also know that I have got to be better inside of 100 yards. And if I can knock, and it's not going to happen fast, it's going to take a lot of work. But if I can start to knock some strokes off of that game from inside of 100 yards, I think that moves my whole game forward. I really do. So that's it. That's my golf week. I think that I'm done with April. I don't know that I'm going to get another round in. I've got a really busy week this week. This could be a tough week. This could be an only 1 round of golf week. I know, first world problems. But that's what's going on. So I think it's a good idea. I'd suggest it to anybody out there listening to keep track of how many shots are you taking inside of 100 yards. I think it'll be eye-opening. I think when you look at your score and you see what percentage of your shots come from inside of 100 yards, if you haven't already figured it out, it may help you to figure out that the short game is really important. And yeah, I'd love to add another 20 yards to my driver, hit my irons more predictably straight. And all those things are true. I need to work on those things. But if you've got a good short game, man, does it cover up a lot of deficiencies in other places. If you can get up and down from just about anywhere, it's such a big win in your golf game. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you being here. Next week, I will be back and I'll wrap up April, talk about how the month went, and keep moving. Kick off the month of May. keep getting better and keep working towards breaking 80. See you next week, everybody. Thanks. If you made it this far, thank you. I can't tell you how much it means to me that you hung in there for the whole show. If you enjoyed it, please rate, review, and subscribe. And maybe even share it with a friend who is out there on their own golf journey. If you listen on Spotify, leave a comment or a question, or send me an email at breaking80over50@gmail.com. I promise I'll read every one. All music was provided by Epidemic Sound. I'll leave links to any of the content that I mentioned in the show notes. Keep swinging, keep smiling, and remember, it's a game. Get out there and have fun. Thanks, everybody.